Have you ever tried to set up a Kubernetes environment, only to find yourself stuck on creating directories in your persistent volume? It can be a real headache, right? Well, today, we're going to simplify that process for you. I totally get it. Setting up directories in Kubernetes can feel overwhelming, especially when you need them for specific applications like MySQL. You're not alone in this struggle. Many developers face the same challenge. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, how would we create a directory inside the Kubernetes Persistent Volume to mount for use in the container as a subpath? They specifically mentioned needing a MySQL directory created while claiming the persistent volume. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this. So, what's the deal with Kubernetes Persistent Volumes? They are designed to provide storage that persists beyond the lifecycle of individual pods. However, creating directories within them can be tricky if you don't know the right steps. Let's break it down. And stick around. I have a handy tip at the end that will make managing your Kubernetes volumes even easier. To create a directory inside a Kubernetes persistent volume, the user should start by defining a persistent volume claim in their YAML configuration file. This will allow them to request storage from the cluster. Next, the user needs to create a stateful set or deployment that uses this persistent volume claim. This is where the directory will be created when the container starts. After defining the stateful set, the user should apply the configuration using the command line. This will create the necessary resources in the Kubernetes cluster. Finally, the user can verify that the directory has been created inside the persistent volume by accessing the container and checking the specified mount path. Fun fact, did you know that Kubernetes was originally developed by Google? It's amazing how far it has come since then, making container orchestration easier for everyone. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach shared by a user involves using an init container to create directories within a Kubernetes persistent volume. They implemented this by utilizing the command mkdir-p to create two subdirectories, myappdata and myappmedia, in their NFS server volume. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative approach to creating a directory inside a Kubernetes persistent volume involves using the readiness probe. This method utilizes exec action to ensure the folder is created before the container is ready to accept requests. Another option is to use the command option to create the directory. However, this will execute after the container has started. Here's that handy tip I promised. Always double-check your YAML syntax. A small mistake can lead to big headaches when deploying your containers. And there you have it. You now know how to create directories inside your Kubernetes persistent volume. Remember, proper setup is key to smooth operations. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks.